Really, just one word to describe it is wow. I mean, what a week for Husky basketball. It was by far their best week of the year. I mean, they came into the last week dead last in the Pac-12. They were 0-7 in conference, and they left last week 2-7 in conference. So they went 2-0 last week, and they're currently the ninth ranked team in the standings in the Pac-12, at least last time I checked. So last week they played Colorado, who was 5-2 in conference and 11-3 overall. And they also played Utah, who was 3-5 in conference and 6-6 overall. So both of these games that they played last week were extremely close. Both of them really came down to the last couple possessions. And that's really been kind of a theme in some of these games for the Huskies. That's now 6 of the Huskies' 14 games they've played, ending in single digits. But last week were the only 2 that the Huskies have been able to pull out and finish the game. So this team has shown, I guess, that they can compete. They may have started the season, quite frankly, horribly, maybe the worst possible start, going 1-11, I believe it was they started. But it was really just their season started because their shots couldn't fall, and that was a bit of luck, I feel. Now their shots are finally starting to fall. They're finally starting to make the shots that they're used to making and that they think that they can make on a consistent basis. And the teams the Huskies are playing are finally starting to shoot like the Huskies have been shooting to start the year, which is ice cold. The past game against Colorado this last week, Colorado made 1 3-pointer. They shot 1 for 18. In the previous matchup that they played against the Huskies, Colorado won that one 92-69. And Colorado went 8 for 20 from 3 compared to the UW going 4 for 18. This most recent game, the scripts kind of got flopped or swapped. Against Colorado last week, the Huskies shot 48% from deep, shooting 12 of 25. And then against Utah, their next game that last week, Huskies shot even better from deep, going 12 for 24, so 50% shooting. And really, I look at kind of the turning point of this Husky offensive showcase that you're seeing in these recent games as their game against Cal. On Cal, it was January 9th. It was really the turning point, I think, for this Husky offense to kind of figure out and kind of get in the groove of things and get some momentum building. Before the game against Cal, UW had only shot above 40% once from 3. And that was in their lone win against Seattle University. Now, during that stretch before Cal, so from really their first game against Baylor up until Cal, they had multiple games, to be exact, 3 games, where they shot less than 20% from deep. Really, you can't expect to be competitive when you're shooting that poorly. Since the Cal game, where they shot 50% from deep, their shooting percentage are as follows. They shot 39% against USC in that really blowout loss. And they shot 43.5% from deep in the close loss to UCLA. And then last week they shot 48% against Colorado and 50% against Utah. So really the 5 most recent games for the Huskies are 5 of their 6 best 3-point percentage games. And I really think that that's no coincidence now that this team is starting to compete, starting to be more competitive and starting to win some games. It's because their shots are finally starting to fall. In an earlier episodes, I hammered the fact that this team can't win any games the way they're playing and the way they're shooting because their offense is just unwatchable. It can't keep up with any team in the Pac-12. They were constantly missing shots, and they just could never get anything going offensively. Well, now this offense, I'm not going to say is cooking or on fire, but they're starting to low simmer. They're starting to do better, and as you can see, the Huskies can win games when their offense is performing like it is right now. Now, I don't think I can really explain why the sudden offensive boost this team has gotten, other than they were unlucky to start the year, and luck's now on their side. Because if you look at the games to start the year and you look at the games now, really they're taking the same shots. Their offense is built around shooting the ball when you're open. So on all these kickouts, Quade Green's getting to these guys in behind the 3-point arc. He was doing the same thing to start the year, only they weren't making it. Now he's kicking it out, and they're making the 3-pointers. Now, I'm sure Coach Hopkins made a point of effort to focus on the three and do some extra work on that at practice. And I'm also sure that a lot of these guys had been spending extra time before, after practice, just shooting around and trying to get a flow of things and get something going behind the arc. But I still think that luck kind of turned to the Husky side, and that's a good thing.